What up guys, this is gonna be a little bit different of a segment. You're joining us in our brand new development center. This should be ready in the next couple of weeks. You'll learn more about this place soon, but today we are gonna be jumping on Reddit and answering some questions and replies. So we noticed this Uniqlo Airism video got a little crazy in the first few days and found out it was a large part because of this Reddit community, frugal male fashion. So I just wanted to dive into this thread and take a look at some questions and some answers and kind of review it with you guys. And this was posted by Yorkie Cheese. So thank you, Yorkie Cheese, for bringing light to our series and sharing it with so many new people in our community. Cheerful Toe writes, misread the title as review by 10-year-old textile manufacturer. I thought it was gonna be a kid in a sweatshop or something. I'm definitely not a kid in a sweatshop, but thanks, I know I do have that Asian discount when it comes to my age. Yorkie Cheese shares our other Supima cotton breakdown. If you guys actually don't know what we do on this channel, a large part of what we do is I buy every single product that we review. We don't accept any sponsorships, we don't accept any products, and I don't review any brands that I have conflicts of interest in, so that we can make sure everything is completely unbiased and impartial. And at the end of the day, I'm just calling out what I see in front of me. I don't care if a brand does well or poorly, but when a brand does do a product well, I'm gonna let you know about it. LTEX writes, TLDR, the Airism shirt is the double knit fabric. The back side is polyester, the front side is cotton. Polyester makes it sweat wicking. Cotton on the outside makes it soft, and it's pretty decently made at a pretty decent price point. GTA 0012, well worth the cost, quality made, probably cost $8 to make. Summed up a little better than I did. It's a good video to watch because you know instantly when a brand starts to trade in their brand equity for higher margin. This is something that's so important in the fashion industry that happens all the time, is when a brand gets really popular and then uses that brand equity to take advantage of customers by pushing out lower quality products. I think Abercrombie is a great example of this right now. They're really utilizing all that marketing power and the trust they've built up over the past few years to extract as much margin as they can from customers, which has driven their stock growth, but I think consumers are starting to get wise to that. Basically, Supima Airism are far superior to their competitors in craftsmanship and technology at their current price points. But I know in the past, Uniqlo had a dip in quality between 2018 to 2022, which is why learning to spot good craftsmanship is important. So when it comes to brands, a lot of times people think of brands and their quality and they go label brands as brands bad quality, the brand's good quality. At the end of the day, brands are made up of people in these corporations, these companies, and to have good quality products, you need an excellent team to be able to execute on those products. And sometimes when you go through stints like that, it could just be that the team that's executing isn't the right team to be there. This is exactly when I stopped buying. Quality has gotten better. Yes, their Supima was gold pre-2018. Came in a boxy fit, rough to the touch, and is not smooth, which defeats the entire purpose of Supima. Now it's more expensive, but it's back to gold. So for those who don't know, Supima is actually just a branded version of Pima cotton that comes from Pima County in the US. It's like a Band-Aid brand Band-Aid. All Supima t-shirts I have from Uniqlo have severely deformed in all seams and collar after only one wash. So when I hear a lot of deformation, it's one, either the fabric has not properly been pre-shrunk from the manufacturer, and what happens is the garments will actually shrink at a set rate, sometimes up to 10% in both directions, and the seams won't shrink as much. So you're gonna get a lot of wavy seams and collars, and this is pretty prevalent when it comes to a lot cheaper quality goods. We haven't done washing testing in the past, but maybe we should start adding wash testing to our videos. Let us know if you want to. I tend to have a lot of issues washing my Airism. Brand new, unworn, first wash, oil spots all over. It's likely I need to tune up my washer, but none of my other clothes do this, so I'm so conflicted. Ditch my favorite everyday shirts or ditch my washing machine. So what is happening here is while polyester is hydrophobic, so it doesn't absorb moisture, which is why it's sweat wicking, polyester is oleophilic, meaning it absorbs moisture, which is why stuff like microfiber cloths are so great at cleaning screens because it attracts and it absorbs that moisture because ultimately it's made from oil. So what you can do in this case, and what Yorkie Cheese said, is just use dish soap ahead of time. You're actually going to get a lot of issues when it comes to polyester shirts too in your armpits if you don't keep them relatively clean. Because if you're not removing that oil, you're not removing the bacteria that comes along with that oil. So it's gonna start breeding and it's gonna start smelling over time. Let us know if you guys actually want a series on how to wash clothes. And actually I have a really cool segment that we're gonna be doing. And I wanna show you actually the different absorption effects of different materials. This guy makes good informative videos. Thank you. That's what we're here. At the end of the day, we're just trying to educate so people make better decisions, buy better quality clothes. So which is better, Airism or Supima? That is really going to be dependent on what you ultimately want. Airism, while it is sweat wicking, do not confuse that for breathable. And do not confuse that for quick dry, because those are all different properties. If you live in a climate that's very humid, with Airism, while it may wick that sweat away, it's now pulling it to the cotton layer. And if the relative humidity of your environment's too high, it's not gonna promote evaporation and it's actually gonna feel very waterlogged and you're gonna get so hot in it. So it's all gonna be dependent on your climate. But Airism is probably really good for dry climates that are quite hot. In terms of Supima, it's just a nice soft fabric. However, while that may be the base fiber, ultimately how they knit the fabric, the yarn size, and play a big part in terms of how soft that shirt is going to be. It just depends what you want. Cotton shirt or polyblend, what's the difference? Airism oversized shirts are cooler to the touch and have a sort of sheer feel to them. The Supima shirts are often softer and thinner, tend to absorb more liquid. Their Uniqlo U cotton shirts are more absorbent than Airism, but more heavyweight. I like all three of these, to be honest. This video describes Airism. It is less cotton blend, but rather a double knit fabric with one side polyester, one side cotton. Yep, and that's done on a double knit machine. Polyester side is against your skin. It wicks sweat away from your skin. The cotton side's outside absorbs that sweat that is wicked away. The result is a shirt that feels cooler to wear. That is because it removes that moisture, but again, it's really gonna be dependent on your humidity levels in your environment. The downside is, the poly side is poly. If not washed promptly, it gets stinky from the bacteria living and breeding it, absolutely true. Breaking down the oils in your skin into less pleasant smelling compounds, correct? Supima cotton is US grown Pima cotton, has longer fibers, which makes for stronger cotton, it's more expensive. Quality of the resulting shirt is usually higher due to both physical characteristics and craftsmanship and attention to detail. So when it comes to Supima and any Pima cotton, what they're talking about are staple fibers. And when you're getting these cotton fibers, the Pima ones are longer. So when you twist them, there's more friction that's actually binding these yarns together and you have less of those ends sticking out. So you're getting with a much softer surface, which provides a much better hand feel. On top of Pima cotton, you have Sea Island cotton, you have Giza cotton. But at some point, I would say for most people, there's gonna be diminishing returns. But even more so, I would say what's more important is what you do with those base fibers. If you're gonna do a very cheap, loose knit cotton shirt with a Pima cotton, it's not gonna feel as great as something that's a little more tight knit. Uniqlo, in my experience, literally depends on the item and the year. Some of their collections are great, some are awful. Some items and materials are great. I stay away from synthetics except cycling and athletic wear as much as possible. I have some Uniqlo pieces. I get compliments on years later. Canvas 12 Cambry cotton and are aging beautiful except for the price, especially for the price. I'm tall and thick and I always struggle with their top sizing. Usually too short, too boxy. I can't find myself in sizes a lot in this area. Overall, I don't love the Airism shirts as much as some. I feel like a decent, I'm so hot. I feel like some decent shirts are easy enough to find, especially on sale. Great video though. I love these breakdown videos when it comes to clothing and footwear. So when it comes to a lot of brands, and this is why I never give an entire brand a stamp of approval, because different brands are gonna have different suppliers. So while one supplier might be great in terms of their Airism shirts or their t-shirts, it might be a completely different story for their other product lines. So even when it comes to the Airism shirt itself, the one... No, go ahead. It'll be cool. It's like a live background, just minimal noise. So even when it comes to the Airism shirt, the ones that we purchased here in Canada were made in Bangladesh, and the ones that are sold in the US, according to the comments, were made in Vietnam. So even between the exact same product line in different countries, the product may vary. Been following these guys for a while on IG, big fan, thank you. They have some pretty good insights. I've learned quite a bit of materials from them. Thank you so much for this. Ultimately, what we want to do, and a big part of the space that we're creating, is to educate consumers and brands about creating better quality products. And it's really exciting to be able to share the knowledge I've been able to accumulate over the past 10 plus years. My Airism shirts that I bought 6 years ago would always accumulate static electricity and get clingy. Horribly annoying. I binned them. Maybe these are new formulations. So, I hadn't really thought about that, but that totally makes sense. Especially if you live in a dry climate. Think of it like rubbing a balloon on your head. You're transferring those negative ions into the plastic that's in the polyester, and that's what's gonna get it to be very clingy to your body, but very good, interesting insight. Does Uniqlo have slim-fitting Airism shirts too, or are all those baggies? I think that was just a Uniqlo U, which is like a special design line, but this person also suggested a slimmer fit here. Are these really worth it for shirts under suits? I hear some say yes, some say no. Honestly, I produce so much body heat that I'm in a t-shirt year round, so I wouldn't be the best person to ask that question. But at the end of the day, even if it's sweat wicking, where's that moisture getting wicked to? If you're wearing a wool suit, it's still going to be insulating you, and it's going to prevent that evaporation. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize too. When it's sweat wicking, thermodynamics, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, just transferred. That sweat that you're making, that heat that you're making, it has to go somewhere. If it's not going into the environment and you have layers of clothes on it, it's gonna be kept into your body, and you're ultimately gonna get hotter. I just got 5 of these in the mail the other day, and I got XL because I'm short and stocky, 5'9", 230, broad shoulders build. Is this a Tinder profile? And they were massive on me. I threw them in the washer and dryer on high heat, now they're perfect size. So when it comes to something like that, the cotton itself may shrink. Polyester, especially a double knit, isn't gonna shrink that much, because when you're knitting a fiber such as polyester, you're actually putting it through a process called a stenter, which puts it through a vitrification state and basically sets those fibers and those yarns. So you're not gonna be causing it to basically contract and shrink in the wash. You'll get maybe like 2% shrinkage. On the cotton, you can range from 3 to 10% if it's really loose knit. But I imagine you probably get a 5% shrinkage on that particular yarn. I think this is something that's so important when it comes to buying clothing. Just because this Airism shirt is a pretty decent review, what's more important at the end of the day is finding a brand that produces products that fit you well, because these are gonna be products that you're gonna be more likely to wear in the long term. That's it. This is something a little different than what we've done in the past, but thank you so much, Reddit community, for the love you've shown us. Thank you for all of the new people that have joined us on this journey, and I cannot wait to show you guys what we've been creating here. I think when it comes to fashion, there's so much things that are hidden in secrecy, and what we're trying to do here is just educate consumers so that you guys can ultimately make better decisions and brands can make better products. If you guys want to see more behind the scenes secrets on the fashion industry and learn more about how to create products and brands, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check out these videos. Beep, beep, boop, boop. That was the last comment on the screen.